this festival in general is a brilliant, brilliant idea. I really do think it is, and I think there should be festivals like it for editors, for production designers, you know, because I think you have this opportunity for everyone to get together and discover what everyone else is doing. And not only that, you get to talk to the people that are doing it. And I've had that experience here at this festival, you know. There have been films that I've seen back in London, and I know that the cinematographer is going to be here. And just to kind of have that opportunity to discuss on a very ordinary level, you know, without any sort of pretense or anything, just to say, well, yeah, you know, what did you think of this, and what did you think of that, and what were you feeling when you did that? I think it's great. It's really great. I think it is. I think it's always. I think it's very important to talk, to be able to gauge reactions, you know, for what you're doing. Not to look for approval anyway. That's not what it's about. It's about knowing that, you know, we're here making films, and the reason I make, or the reason I'm, you know, involved in the making films, because I love telling stories, and then, you know, that once those stories are out there, it's for the benefit of the people who are absorbing the stories, and you want the reaction. So, you know, my film Broken screening in the opera there as part of the main competition. Yes, it's humbling. Yes, it's fantastic, but also at the same time, you know, I've seen that film so many times, but I sat in the auditorium because I was getting a feeling from the audience. To gauge that film then has its own life, you know, and I'm no longer part of it. I'm an observer of the film, and I think that's what's really good about this festival, is that, you know, people aren't just looking at it from a cinematography point of view. We're all filmmakers here, and we all love movies, so we're here to enjoy them, and I think that's what's really special. The important thing is, yeah, for it to not be judgmental. In other words, we as the filmmakers are not saying, you know, this is how you're going to feel now. I think that kind of filmmaking is manipulative, and often audiences are smart enough to know that, you know, that's not going to work. You're not going to tell me how to feel. I want to feel it, and I think that's important. That when Rufus and I worked on the film together, we were always conscious that, you know, we didn't want to ever feel like we were manipulating anyone into thinking something. Rufus came with some visual references as a sort of starting point, to communicate to me very simply what he was feeling about the film, and I came to Rufus with my interpretation of that, which wasn't anything visual. Actually, it was more a sort of a feeling, and it was more that sort of that feeling that I got reading the script, and how to you know, maintain that feeling and put it on the screen. And I think we never really talked about other films. I try not to talk about other films actually when making a film, because I think, you know, each film has its own personality, and they exist individually, like we all exist individually as people. No two people are the same, and I think that should be the way with films, and the story, you know, the stories that are told. So that's not to say that we would ever try and replicate something, but we talked often in terms of music. Actually, we talked often in terms of rhythm and beats, and what is the rhythm of a scene? What does it sound like? That was a sort of a quick way to get to the heart of what the scene was about emotionally, and then also in terms of the part that it plays in telling the bigger story. And I always find that music inspires me so much. It's like all these ideas come, don't they? When you listen to a great song, you get this, you know, this thing that happens, and you can't really describe it. I think the same thing sometimes happens when you look at a painting or a sculpture or a film. I'd say the biggest challenge of Broken was our tight schedule, probably purely on a practical level. We had like 5 weeks to shoot that film, which isn't a long time considering it's such a big ensemble cast. He would often only have three takes or 4 takes on a very important scene with a great actor, and that's tough. That's so tough. And a big challenge, to be able to move quickly, but also maintain the integrity and keep it on the path that you've created for it. It's always a hard thing to do.